I want to be a real number. Part 3. Write in complex number form.
One day, I and his girlfriend 4 went to the mall. They were so in love, they were stuck together like glue. They decided they wanted some ice cream from Brewster's, so they went to stand in line. All of a sudden, 15 jumped in front of them without hesitation. 4 tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Back of the line." All of a sudden, 15 turned around and replied, "Real numbers always come before imaginary numbers, and that's standard form." I understood what was going on because real numbers always come first, but 4 was mad.
Now why did 15 say real numbers always come first? Complex numbers are written in the form a plus bi, where a is a real number and bi is an imaginary number. This is considered standard form for complex numbers. Let's look at an example. 4 plus the square root of negative 36. First, we must simplify the radicals, converting into imaginary form when needed. 4 is a real number, so we do not have to convert it. The square root of negative 36 can be broken up into the square root of 36 times negative 1. Now, the square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of negative 1, we know, is an imaginary number, and we can write that as I. So next we have to write it in complex number form, which is 4 plus 6i. This is your final answer. Let's look at our second example. The square root of 36 plus the square root of negative 24. Again, we must simplify both radicals. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of negative 24 can be broken up into 24 times negative 1. 24 can be broken up into 4 times 6 times negative 1. 4 is a perfect square and can be pulled outside as 2. The square root of negative 1 can be written as I. So our final answer is 6 plus 2i times the square root of 6, where 6 is our real number and 2i times the square root of 6 is our imaginary number. This too is in complex number form. Our final example today is the square root of negative 25 plus the square root of 28. Again, we have to simplify both radicals. The square root of negative 25 can be broken up into 25 times negative 1, and the square root of 28 can be broken up into the square root of 7 times 4. Now, 25 is a perfect square of 5, and the square root of negative 1 is I, so our answer is 5i. 7 does not have a perfect square, but 4 does. So we're going to pull out 2 and get an answer of 2 square roots of 7. Now be careful, this is not your final answer because it is not in complex number form. In order to write it in complex number form, the real number, 2 square roots of 7, must come before 5i. So we need to reverse these answers and we get 2 square roots of 7 plus 5i. This is our final answer because it is now in complex number form. Remember, the real numbers always come before imaginary numbers. That's standard form. In conclusion, in order to write in complex number form, we must simplify all radicals, then make sure it is written in complex number form, a plus bi, where a is the real number and bi is the imaginary number. Remember, real numbers always come before imaginary numbers. That's standard form. I hope this video helped you understand complex number form. Please continue I Want to Be a Real Number in Part 4.